Well, it's Friday, folks, and that means we're going to talk about some new movies. So I'm super excited for this movie. Let's just start the video. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Movie Time with Chris, the channel devoted specifically to movies, movie birthdays, movie reviews, trailer discussions, box office predictions, and some special videos along the way. Now, hey, if that sounds like something that you're into, if you love the movie reviews, if you want the trailer discussions, if you love to compete in box office predictions, if you just love movies, subscribe to this channel because you're going to get all that content and then some. Now, as I mentioned, it's Friday. We're talking about new movies, and the movie that we're discussing today is Nobody. Let me tell you, I have been so excited to watch this movie. I've been talking about that since I did my video where they had the trailer during the Super Bowl. So make sure you watch that. I'll include it as a card at the end. So make sure you check that one out. But so excited for this movie. You know, they say that it's not exactly in the John Wick universe, but it's similar to John Wick. But you know what? Let's just, like usual, let's watch the trailer for this film and you guys can see what I'm talking about. So, hey, cue trailer.
So they took maybe $20 and an old watch? Mr. Madsen, did you even take a swing?
No.
Could have taken her, Dad.
Heard you had some excitement last night. I wish they'd have picked my place, you know?
Why didn't you take him out?
I was just trying to keep the damage to a minimum.
Yeah, how's that working out for you?
You okay? Because you don't look okay.
There's a long dormant piece of me that so very badly wants out.
What are you still doing here, old man?
I'm gonna fuck you up. It's been a hell of a day.
You can see that.
For 12 years, I worked for some very dangerous people. Everybody get to the basement.
What is happening?
Don't call 911. I used to be what they call an auditor. The last guy anyone wants to see at their door. Because it meant you didn't have long to live. But I left it behind to start a family. Hey! I might have overcorrected.
When you left, you abandoned a certain debt that needs repayment. And your creditor is aware of your resurrection.
They came after my family.
They stole my kitty cat bracelet.
And you don't fucking do that! Give me the goddamn kitty cat bracelet!
You look like shit, Dad.
You should see the other guys.
Who the fuck are you?
Me? I'm nobody.
Whew. What a trailer, man. I tell you, there's so much in there, and it's just, I don't know, it makes me want to watch it again, which I'll have to do because let's talk about this and I'll explain why I have to watch it again. So the movie was directed by, I'm going to butcher this, I know, and I'm sorry, Alia Naishuller. Isla Naishaler, something like that. And it stars Bob Odenkirk, who most people will probably know from his role as Saul from Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul. So it was really good to see him in a role that was different. Because again, that's what most people will know him as. So to see him as this action hero role that he's normally not typecasted as was refreshing. The movie is rated R, and I watched this movie on Tuesday. I rented it on Vudu as a video on demand because the movie is still playing in theaters, but I still have the rental, and I want to watch it again now. So I'm going to give it another rewatch. The movie, though, is only an hour and 32 minutes. So it's 92 minutes long, and we all know how I feel about those movies. I've stated it many times in these previous videos. For me, the sweet spot is between an hour 45, that's on the very low end, to 2 hours and 15 minutes for a movie. But I did say that there are some movies where an hour and a half works. Such as Crank or Crank 2. Jason Statham does a great job with those movies that are only an hour and a half. He fits a lot in there. Well, you got a lot with this one. So yeah, the movie, it worked at an hour and a half long. And you know what? Let's talk about the likes and dislikes. Now, there were some things that I did dislike, and part of it I think stems from the runtime. They could have given more detail on some aspects. You know, the whole Russian mob history thing and what's going on there. They touch upon it, but that's it. There's nothing that goes further with it. And also, RZA's character, we don't get a backstory. We just know that he's a friend of Bob Odenkirk, and that's it. So yeah, they could have definitely built on that. But what I liked about this movie, the acting, because again, it was refreshing to see Bob Odenkirk in this role. The realism of the feelings, you know, what he's going through, having come from this life that was full of mystery and action to trying to settle down and be a father, and it's just, it's awkward for him. He's not used to it. So he finds, you know, he's getting bored with the whole repetition, the little details of everyday life. And that can be relatable. So the realism of that, I definitely enjoyed. And the over-the-top story. Christopher Lloyd's character in this movie, over the top. Absolutely over the top. And just amazing. That's all I can say. Yeah, his character was just great. Funny, action, it gave you everything. So I really enjoyed it. But before I give my final thoughts, let's kind of give a backstory to the movie. As I mentioned, Bob Odenkirk came from a life of mystery and action. You know, like he says in the trailer, he was an auditor. He was the last person you'd want to see at your door because that meant you didn't have long to live. And he gives it all up to have the family life, you know, to be a father, to be a husband. And it's dull for him, you know? He doesn't have that action that he had. So he's getting real bored real quick with life. And it's showing in his overall relationships, his relationships at work, his relationship with his wife, his relationship with his kids. You can see the effect that his old life and not having that is having on his current life. And eventually, you know, there's a break-in at his house and it triggers him. And he needs that taste of action, just kind of dip his toe in a little bit. And it turns out that when he does that, he ends up getting into some trouble. And I don't want to give too much away. I probably already have. But so the Russian mob comes looking for him. And he has to, utilize all his skills that he's learned over, a career to protect his family over time. Just kind of end this whole confrontation with the Russian mob. And yeah, so, you get a lot of aspects from this that are kind of like Equalizer, a little bit of Taken, a lot of John Wick. But, if you put all those aside, if you go into this movie and you watch it and you compare it to John Wick or Equalizer or Taken, you might not enjoy this movie as much. But if you just sit down and watch this movie for what it is, you will enjoy this movie. My final thoughts, I said the movie was a great movie on its own. Enjoy it for what it is and all the over-the-top storyline, because there was a lot of that where it was just so crazy that it's funny and adds to the movie, and it was just a really good time. It really was. I have not had that much fun watching a movie in a while. Which is why, again, I'm going to give it another rewatch just to enjoy it before I lose that rental. But for the movie, I gave it 4.5 stars. I thought it was that good. If the movie was a little bit longer and they built up a little bit of a storyline, I thought it would have been great. But who knows? They could do that in a sequel, because this movie, I'm sure, is doing really well. A lot of people are talking about it. And because of that, I'm sure Hollywood's going to give us a sequel to this, maybe even a trilogy following in the footsteps of Taken and John Wick. But those are my thoughts on Nobody. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, make sure you check out the Instagram, Movie Time with Chris, where you're going to get little snippets of everything that's going to come on the YouTube channel. Speaking of the YouTube channel, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and ring that bell, because you don't want to miss any future videos that are going to be on this channel. Also, I'm on Twitter, so make sure you follow me there, Movie Time with C1, where you're going to get a heads up of everything that I'm going to be working on across all my platforms. I'm on Twitch, so make sure you follow me there, Movie Time with Chris. I do watch parties, Amazon watch parties on Twitch. I'll be doing one once a week, so follow me on Twitch, and we'll watch a movie together. Make sure you go to my blog, www.movietimewithchris.com, where you're going to get a more in-depth analysis of everything that I talk about here on the YouTube channel. And lastly, if there's ever a topic you want to hear about or a movie that you want me to review, email me, movietimewithchris@gmail.com. I'm going to check that email multiple times a day. I will not miss your message, and the topic you want to hear about will be in a future video on this channel. But until next time, stay safe and take care.